Hi and welcome to another episode on the OCD Warrior YouTube channel. So I have just uploaded a video previously talking about Puro, so if that's something you are interested in, just look further down for the video. So this one's a little bit different. It's not like an informative or supportive video in a sense, but kind of just puts a different spin on how we understand how intrusive thoughts work, why we end up thinking the worst of the worst kind of thoughts. And I was talking to a couple of people this week and I kind of used this reference. It is a reference that I came up with, which I actually think explains intrusive thoughts very, very well. So I want you to remember when you were a child and you were in bed at night and you hear a sound, or even as an adult, and you hear a sound and you don't know what that sound is. So immediately you start to panic. You pull the cover over your heads. You feel hot and clammy and you get sweaty. And you can feel your blood pumping and you can feel your heartbeat in your ears. And all this time your brain is trying to figure out where this sound or where this noise came from or what it was, but your brain it can't figure it out, and you're starting to feel that panic. Now, that panic that you feel, that heartbeat, your blood pumping, you're feeling hot and shivery and shaky and you feel a bit sick and you feel scared, that's the fight or flight response. That is your adrenaline kicking in because your brain couldn't come up with a reason for what caused the noise or what it was or where it was coming from. So your brain instantly thought, right, there's danger, there must be a threat. So your fight or flight response is kicked in. Fight or flight is it comes from a primitive part of your brain. It is supposed to be there. We are supposed to feel that. It's what keeps us safe from actual threat and danger. So fight or flight, what that does is it shuts off blood and stuff and energy from non-needed body parts. And what happens is it sends more blood to the muscles so that you feel stronger, so that you can endure longer, regardless of whether that's when you stand and fight your danger or you run away. That's what fight or flight is there for. So while that's happening to you as a child, while you're in your bed with the covers over your head and your brain cannot figure out what it was, but you're in fight or flight, the brain doesn't like that. The brain will try and come up with a story that will fit in with your fight or flight. So remember, fight or flight is when we are in imminent danger or we are facing a threat. So because the brain doesn't like not knowing, it will generate a story that fits in with fight or flight, that is in line with fight or flight. So it will go to the worst case scenario, the absolute worst. And that is often when you're a child and you've got the cover over your head, your worst case scenario is there's a boogeyman or there's a monster or someone's in the house. It could be any one of those reasons, and they are all worst case scenarios. They are the things that you would fear the most. So that's what the brain generates. It generates this story that backs up the justification for being in fight or flight. So how does that tie in with OCD? Well, I was talking to somebody today who had explained her first intrusion was a nightmare, and she quite naturally responded to that nightmare, and because her fight or flight was kicked in, her brain went to the immediate worst case scenario because that justified the fight or flight. Now, this is the same kind of thing with intrusive thoughts. When we have an intrusive thought, our brain doesn't like not knowing why, so it will jump to the worst case scenario. We'll have the fight or flight and then it'll generate that worst case scenario. Okay, so when we have that intrusive thought, oh my God, I could lose control. Oh my God, this means that. Oh my God, I'm going to do this. Would I do that? Those are worst case scenario situations. The intrusive thoughts in themselves are they're just a thought in passing, something that you really don't need to pay attention to. But because we've gone into fight or flight, the brain needs a story that fits in alongside that fight or flight. So it will jump to the worst case scenario and we respond. Now, another point I want to make on this video before I go is the OCD is a bully. Intrusive thoughts are bullies. So think to yourself, what do bullies typically want from us when they're bullying us? Or if you've been bullied in the past, what are they wanting? They are wanting you to bite. They are prodding away and goading us and winding us up. They want that reaction. They want you to respond to what they're doing to you or what they did to you. They want that reaction. Do you know why? Because they want the satisfaction. So the moment you engage in those compulsions because of the intrusive thoughts, you are giving that bully exactly what it wants. So the way to beat it is to do the opposite of what your OCD is telling you to do. The exact opposite. Now, I'm under no illusion that that is so easy. And I know for some of you sat there watching this, oh well, that's easier said than done. I don't have OCD as bad as you do, and maybe that's true. But that doesn't mean that I haven't had it as bad as what some people are experiencing right now. I have had the excruciating experiences with OCD, but I've worked through, I've understood, I've educated, I've been through therapy, and my OCD is now managed very, very well. For the most part, it is pretty much dormant. That's not to say I do not have the thoughts. The goal is not to get rid of your thoughts. Your goal is to no longer give them the reaction that they're after. If you can do that and attach no feeling, no emotion, no response to those thoughts and just see them as a thought, that's when you take your power back. That's when those thoughts stop having that effect on you. And I know it can be quite scary sometimes when you experience an intrusive thought. You expect the anxiety, and then when you don't get the anxiety, you think, well, maybe I wanted that thought. That's not how it happens. If you are not responding in the same way anymore, it may well just be that you have worked through that part of your OCD, and that particular thought at that moment in time does not bother you. So try not to hang on to your OCD as a protective factor. The known best treatment for OCD is CBT and ERP. If you are in the UK, you can make a referral for this. This therapy should be at least 10 to 12 weeks with a view to adding more sessions on, and should always be done with an OCD specialist or somebody who has trained in OCD. If you are unable to fund a therapist, or I know some people that I talk to are out in places such as America where they may not have insurance, there are many different books that are very, very helpful, and there are also some very good positive supportive groups on Facebook. OCD coaching and support is one of them. Carol Edwards is an OCD advocate, and does a lot of topics for helping people manage their OCD. So make sure you go and have a check of that group there. And there are a couple of people on here as well that you can follow that might be really helpful. Chrissy Hodges is one, Mark Freeman. There are countless many other people. Dr. Phillipson also has videos on here, so make sure you check him out. And yeah, so hopefully this video has been helpful in you understanding a little bit about sometimes how the brain needs a story to fit the response, and that's how we end up getting stuck in the intrusive thought cycle because of the worst case scenario. And if you have any questions, about my journey, about my OCD, or you need some support yourself, again, drop your comments below. I just want to reiterate, I am not a trained therapist, I am an advocate. If you are in crisis or you really are struggling, then it's best if you contact a mental health professional. Nor can I diagnose or confirm diagnosis of OCD. My aim for you, this YouTube channel, is to share with you what I've learned along my journey with OCD, share with you what's been helpful for me, what may prove helpful for you, and just to help you have a better understanding of your diagnosis or OCD. And that's all from me. I look forward to bringing you the next videos. If there are any videos that you want to see covered in a video, then drop your suggestions below, and I will have a look at what's coming up, and I will make some videos for those as well. So take care of yourselves.